Hi everyone, my name is Miss Brown. Welcome to Language Arts 8, or as I often refer to it, English 8. Just an old habit from teaching at the high school for a while that to me it's just always going to be called English. So that's a quick note about that. But I want to take a minute or two or several to introduce myself, give you a chance to get to know me, but more importantly, we are going to go through the site and I'll show you all of the really interesting features that the site has that is going to help you in your learning this year. And then some of those things that we use specific to English class that you're going to want to know of and be aware of. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And what you can see behind me, and I'll make that part bigger here. What you can see behind me is going to be similar to what you see when you log into classes. So up at the top corner, you're probably going to see your name, welcome, things like that, and you're going to see my schedule, classes, and announcements. And so in the my schedule area, this is where you're going to see all of your assignments that are due for the given day or week, depending on how you set it up. And it will show you your Class Connect sessions for that day. Those are the times where you need to go in and be live with a teacher, and it will show you what day it's happening on and also what time you need to be there, and it will give you the link that you click on to get into the classroom. Okay, so this is kind of a nice feature here. And then when you click on classes, this is where you're going to see all of the classes that are available to you. Right now, you are viewing my page. So you will see that I have a couple of homeroom classes and I have a stride class, and you will have a stride class as well. And we'll talk more about what this stride class is a few weeks into the course. For now, if you want to go explore it, you certainly can. It has games and things like that on it, but there will be no assignments on that right now. So you can skip that one for now. And then the one that I'm going to talk to you about today is Language Arts 8. Okay, so this is our Language Arts 8 page, and your view might look a little bit different as mine. Currently, I log myself in as a student instead of a teacher, but still my view is going to be a little bit different than what you see. So there's a couple really important features on this page, and one of them is something you can't actually view right now. On your screen in this section right here, you are going to have a view that kind of summarizes the course. If you have any overdue alerts, it will show up there. It will tell you how many overdue assignments you have, and then you can click on the number and it will actually show you what those assignments are, which is a really nice feature. It will also tell you your class progress, and it will tell you if you've received feedback on an assignment or assessment. Please, please read the feedback. I find that sometimes I will not grade an assignment, but I'll leave feedback that just says, you know, maybe it was the wrong document, or maybe you're just missing one element and I want you to fix it and resubmit it. Or maybe you accidentally submitted a blank document, which happens sometimes. So if that's the case, I have left you feedback. And if you don't read that feedback, you're missing out on a lot of valuable points that will eventually get turned into a 0 if you don't resubmit. So reading that feedback is a really, really important step in your learning in this online world. Okay, so make sure that you're looking at that feedback to see what it is you need to do for your assignments. Okay. So that's one section of your page that is not on here because I have a teacher view. Another one is that this is another area, and yours will just be a little bit lower, but this is another area where you can see what Class Connect sessions you have that day, and it will show you all of your classes, Class Connect sessions, not just English. So that's kind of handy as well. So you can use this as a tool or a guide. And to know what you're going to learn. If you're a returning student to our school, this is probably not new information, though I have some new pieces of information to share, so don't run away. But if you are new to us here at MNVA, this is really important. We use the Plan tab to find out and access all of our lessons in this class. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the Plan tab. Excuse me, sorry, I didn't mean to hit that. I'm going to click on the Plan tab, and what that pulls up is a view, a calendar view. And you can choose if you want to show one day at a time, a week, or a month. It's completely up to you what you would like to see. You can also select if you want to see all of your classes at the same time. Mine all happen to be English related, but yours will be your class list. Or if you want to view one class at a time. My recommendation is that you view one class at a time. And the reason is this: when you have this filled in with all the different colors of all of your different classes, it gets really overwhelming, but also it's easy to miss that you have an assignment in that class. So I strongly recommend that you view one class at a time for that reason. Now, how do you get to the lessons from here? So when you see this, you're going to see that this is a lesson, and this lesson's called Getting Started Activities. This is actually your first assignment in this course, and you have found this because you're watching this video. So you click on this, and then you click on More to access the lesson. So when I click on More, it is going to pull up the entire lesson for me. You're seeing step 2, and you're seeing the syllabus and welcome. But when you view this in your course, you'll actually see that there's 3 parts, and one of them is this video. But I can't upload it till the video is created, right? So that is how you view the entire lesson. But I'm going to return back to the Plan tab to show you how you can access an assignment. Let's say you've gone through the entire lesson, but you had to step away from your computer for a while. Now you're coming back and you want to complete the activity or the assessment. This is how you know, 1, that you have an assignment, but 2, how you access it. You'll know that it's an assignment because it will say 9:00 p.m. at the end, because that is the due date time. So you'll know that there is a time on this. Technically, you have the entire day to complete an assignment. So this time is here just at the end of the day for that reason. So when you click on this, you can be taken directly to the assignment. Now you can go through the lesson. So I'm going to go back to the calendar. You can go through the lesson to get to the assessment as well. If I start at the lesson, which is what I recommend, is to start at the top of the lesson, click Next through the entire lesson, and then you will get here to the assessment. So once I click on the first activity, it will pull up that activity for me. I'll be able to see, once it loads, my progress through that activity, and then I will be able to click back and forth to get to the next parts of the activity, okay, or the next parts of the lesson. It's also going to show me my progress through the lesson, what I've completed out of what's there for me to see, okay. And actually, it looks like it even brings up the next day's lesson, but you don't have to do that. Okay, so back to the course schedule, back to the lesson itself, and we can go back to the calendar here. Taking another look at the calendar, you'll see that you do have a couple of dates not filled in yet. By the time you see this video, if you click to the Plan tab, they will be filled in for you. Now, what I just showed you was a lesson that I created, and we'll be doing some of those lessons that I created for the first couple weeks, and then hit or miss throughout the entire school year. So even if you are not new to us, this might be new to you. But sometimes when we do this, I will show a video. And so when this pops up and loads, you'll see that there is going to be a video, okay? Download and view the file in Nebraska. Okay, I'm gonna have to check on what that is about. I will check back on that because that was working previously. So I will take a look at that and see what's going on there, and I'll have that fixed for you by the time we get there. The other part is the K-12 lessons, and that's what you'll spend your majority of your time on. If you are not new, if you are a returning student, you know that they can be lengthy. And they can be challenging, and they should be challenging, right? That's how you're learning. So if you're new, don't feel too overwhelmed as you get started. But I wanted to show you a little bit about what a K-12 lesson looks like. So you'll start with your introduction, and then you'll use the tools to maneuver through the course itself. So these checkbox, what is happening here? Why are they checked? Well, as a teacher in this course, I have went in and viewed these files already this school year just to check and make sure they didn't change anything this year. So I looked at this one and I looked and read this one and I looked and read this one, but you know what I did not look at and read this one, so I don't have a check mark. So this is kind of a guide for you to say, okay, did I complete all parts of the lesson? Well, maybe if you're new here, you're not new here, you may or may not know this, but as teachers, we can go in and not only view what parts of the lesson you've completed, but we can view how much time you spent on each part of the lesson. So sometimes I'll have students that will email me and say, I failed the test and I don't know why. And I'll go take a look at the lesson and I'll let them know, well, that's probably because you spent about 20 seconds in the lesson, or let's try to go back and look at that again, or let me see if I can help you on that. So that's just something to kind of be aware of if you're not new or if you're new to us. So using this as a guide to maneuver back and forth. One other feature that is new this year for everybody is that we have this reading feature. Our K-12 lessons are really long and they are challenging and there is a lot of reading. So one thing that K-12 has done this year that we love is that they've included a reading feature. So you can actually turn the reading feature on, press the play button, and it will read the contents of the lesson to you. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by how much text there is, how many words you have to read to learn the new information, this is going to be a wonderful, wonderful feature. You also have other features within here that you get to play with. Translate, if you're more comfortable with another language, that can help you with that. Define, if you come across new words, you can define some new words to help you better understand what's happening in your lesson. So, very cool feature, and you turn that on here. If you're thinking, this part of the lesson I want to read to myself for whatever reason, or you just feel like you would rather read the lessons than hear them, then you just go ahead and leave it turned off or turn it off when you want to turn it off. So I thought that was kind of a neat feature. The other thing that I want to stress to you is that there are going to be parts of your lesson, yep, and I'll also give you warning signs like this, like, hey, you didn't finish all of it. But there'll be parts of your lesson that are interactive, and I'm not even sure if I'm clicking through the right parts of the lesson, but some parts are interactive in the sense that you have to open them. So it's asking you to read this story and you click and open this document to read this story. But other parts of the lessons will be like quiz features, or you'll actually be able to move things around on the screen to learn the content or practice the content. And it's a quiz yourself feature. So they'll give you the answers to make sure that you know the answers, okay? Here's a huge, huge hint. Those features where you can quiz yourself and where you can check your understanding, those features often lead directly to the quizzes. So if you're skipping those sections, you're missing some of those quiz features or quiz questions, and that's not going to help you do well on the quiz. So use those features in the lesson to make sure you understand the content because it directly relates to the quizzes and the tests that we take, okay? And you do want to go through all parts of the lesson because the quiz is on all parts of the lesson. You have a quiz every day, but even if you don't have a quiz that day, the unit test will cover it. So make sure you're still going through the lessons even if you don't have a quiz or an assignment that day, because the unit test will go over that information, okay? Okay. Back to the course schedule. So I just wanted to give you a little picture about what the K-12 lessons look like, what lessons that I create might look like. Another thing that you might see on here that I want to address is that you can see that lesson 1.01 is, it's, I'm gonna try that again. I wish there was like a quick edit feature where I could just rewind that and cover over. It's hard to do in screencast. But that lesson 1.01 actually covers 2 days, and I do that a lot because the K-12 lessons are long. So when I know that there is a really hard lesson, or it's got a couple of different assignments, or it's got a couple of different activities, or maybe we have CC sessions that are going to take some of your time, I will break up some of the lessons into 2-day lessons. And so that when that happens, Sometimes I will break apart the lesson so that you'll only see half of it on day one and you'll see the second half on day two. But most of the time, I'm going to give you the whole lesson on that first day, and I'm going to let you break it up how you want to. Maybe you're thinking, I have a lot of math to do on the 18th. I'm going to do the whole lesson on the 19th, even though she gave me 2 days. Maybe you're thinking, I can do more today and less tomorrow. So I want you to have that responsibility, but also that decision-making power to say when you do those longer lessons and how you break it up. So the assignment that goes with any of those longer lessons will always happen on the second day of the lesson for that reason, okay? Okay, I feel like I need a breath. Let's just let that all soak in for a second. Now, some features that are particular to my class. So even if you're familiar with the Plan tab and K-12, let's take a look at some features that I've added to this class. First and foremost, where can you find Class Connect session recording links? Now, you know from our back to school session and from the emails you got that you are required to attend all CC sessions. Any CC session here that is linked for you that says required in front of it or in the title, you are required to attend. We need you to make every possible effort to come to the session live when it's happening. We need that for you because it's better for your learning. Trust me. To hear it, to be able to ask questions, or even collaborate sometimes. And don't worry, I won't push you if you're not feeling comfortable with that. You always have the option to collaborate privately through private messaging with me. So don't let that deter you from coming to a session live, okay? But we do want you to come live to the sessions when they are happening. But if you have to go to the doctor's office or you have practice or your dog just threw up all over the floor, I just thought of that because my dog is sitting there on the floor. Didn't throw up. I don't know why I said that. But let's say you cannot come to the live session for whatever reason. Then you do need to watch the recording of the session, okay, and complete the exit ticket. Remember, the exit tickets are how we take attendance. So I take attendance no matter what through the exit ticket. So at the end of the session, if you're live with me, we'll do it together. I'll give you the link, you'll do it, and then you're gonna be like, I gotta go, I'm gonna run away now. But if you watch the recording, you need to go through the recording and grab the link or the assignment that will pop up, complete it, and then either hit submit if it's a Google form or turn it into the Dropbox if it's an assignment. And that's how you're going to be marked present for the day. If you do not complete the exit ticket, you're marked absent. Okay? So you'll notice from the syllabus review, the syllabus is going to talk about this a little bit more. Your syllabus quiz is going to talk about this a little bit more. But I will look at exit tickets for the week prior on Sunday at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. on the dot. So that means that Monday's CC session, you have Monday to complete the exit ticket, but you actually have all the way until Sunday at 6 p.m. to complete that exit ticket. So if you were sick for a couple of days, or you went to the doctor, or you went on vacation, you actually have a good amount of time to get that exit ticket done. You have the whole week, but it has to be submitted however way it's asked for you to submit it, and it's always clear in the lesson, by Sunday, 6 p.m. Teachers are required to submit attendance Monday morning, bright and early. Monday morning they have to be submitted, and so we submit attendance for the whole week prior. That means we look at exit tickets, and we also look at your progress through the online lessons. That means you're logging into English, you're clicking on the Plan tab, and you're clicking and you're going through those lessons. If you're not clicking and going through the lessons, you're also going to be marked absent because that means you're not in school for English that day anyway, okay? So you do need to be clicking through the lessons and you gotta do your exit tickets. Remember, you may or actually I shouldn't say remember, you may or may not know, you only get a certain number of absence days per school year. And then after that, it's like big deal. We have something called truancy, and it's kind of a big deal. So we don't want to go there. Just let's make sure you're going through the online lessons and making sure that you're doing the exit tickets, and you will be golden. You'll be just fine. Okay. I didn't want to scare anybody. That was not my goal today. So don't be scared. Um, so that's where you can find the recording. So again, let's say I was sick on Monday and I need to go watch the recording from the CC session because I know that I have a required CC session on Monday, a required CC session on Tuesday, and I probably have a required session on Thursday. Okay, so if I click through to the Class Connect recordings, it's going to bring up slowly but surely it's going to bring up a document that will let you click through once it finishes loading to the CC session links, and it will take you to the recording of that. So here, for example, it'll show you the date, the title of the lesson, and then over here in this box, once there is a recording, it will say click here, and you will be able to click here. Okay, so that is one feature that I want you to be able to find on our class homepage. It's going to be right at the top bar of our page. The other thing, I'm just clicking back to class home. This is our home page. That I want you to see is our weekly plan calendar. And this is pretty unique to our English class. But in this weekly plan calendar, and I'm going to start clicking through because it takes a while to load. I don't know if it's my internet today or not. But this weekly plan calendar is going to give you a month overview that's going to look really similar to your plan tab. And it won't be very detailed. But what I really love about this weekly plan calendar when it loads is that you're going to actually have the ability to click on the week that we're in, or even a week ahead or a week behind if you accidentally got behind or you went on vacation. And you're going to get a much more detailed look at what we have to do each week. This is really helpful because when you look at the plan tab, it's not very detailed. You just kind of click next and you get through the lesson, and that works. That definitely works. But sometimes it's really nice to know like what assignments are coming up, or what's going to be due, or what's going to be needed to be completed in a lesson, or what the bigger picture might be. And this is where you're going to find all of that information. So this first week, we don't have a lot going on, but you will see that today you're watching the welcome video, and that I don't even know what this button is, but then read the syllabus carefully and then take the syllabus quiz. So it will tell you kind of in a greater detail what lesson you're working on and what's going to be due for you that day. So taking a look ahead at next week, as you know, the plan tab currently doesn't reflect these things, but it will. And you'll see a little bit more about what you have to do. The other thing is it will tell you when your CC sessions are. Next week is weird. Like I said, we usually have CC sessions on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And then Wednesday and Friday are yours to complete the online lessons, catch up on any online lessons from the previous days, those kinds of things. But Monday of next week, we have an open house, which I'm sure you've already heard about. So we are going to have our 2 required CC sessions on Tuesday and Wednesday. Then we will not have one on Thursday. Okay, so next week is weird, but then we'll get back into our normal routine the following week, and then we'll stay that way for the rest of the year. Okay? But this is a really great feature where you can come and you can check and see, what are we doing today? What am I going to need to get turned in? Double check to make sure that you've completed an assignment or that you've completed the activities you need to do for the day. So please know that this is always here, and it's always, well, it's actually linked in a couple of places, but I'll show you that. But for sure, it's up in the top bar of our class homepage. So that's one place that it's going to be found, is up here in this bar. The other place that it's going to be found is going to be down here in the announcements box. Okay, so if you need to look up at the calendar, there is another place that you can find it. So the announcements page, this section here, I will add to if we have any new updates or anything that you need to pay attention to, any changes we might need to make to an assignment. So make sure that you're checking that as well. Just when you first log in, scroll down, see if there's any new information that you need to be aware of. As far as accessing the content of the course. I'm going to ask you not to use this. If you look up here, you can see these are our major units of study. But other than these first three here, or first two, I should say, really I don't want you accessing this because it can get really confusing. Like, what lesson are we on? What do I need to do? What's due for me? And I will also say that I don't teach every lesson in the K-12 content. Sometimes I make my own because I like them better. Or sometimes I make my own and replace one of the K-12 lessons, or even take out some of the lessons that I don't think are going to meet the standards for what we're doing. So the best thing for you is to use your weekly plan calendar, but also use the plan tab to access all lessons and content. So that's how you'll find them here. Remember, just click more to get to the next activity. Okay? So that's a lot of information for you to look at. Remember, you can access your grades up here, and you should and want to be accessing your grades regularly. You may find, like, I got a 0 on something. What? Why in the world did I have a 0 on something? Right on your grades tab. Now, if I click on this, it'll take you to student grades, so I cannot actually click on it. But when you click on it, it's just your information, and you'll actually have a little spot there where you can click on the feedback, and it might be that this is the wrong document, or this is a blank document. Oops, submit the correct document, and then it's a quick fix. It's a quick fix to re-upload the different document that you completed, and now you can get a score. But I've had students in the past where they didn't check it for so long, or they didn't read the feedback, that they were having to go back, weeks and months even to try to find an assignment to fix just a quick little error. So double check that, okay? So in your lessons, you're going to have the ability to take quizzes, to complete discussion posts, and to upload documents. And if you have any questions with any of those features, or you need any help in any way, please feel free to reach out to me. But we also have a great tech department, so I can get you their number. Your homeroom teacher can always get you their number too if you have any questions about things maybe not working for you. One thing I will say before I close out, you need to have Microsoft Office tools. I know that this was mentioned already in your homeroom email that you got when you first started here. Your homeroom teacher provided a link to downloading, like giving you instructions on how to download Microsoft Word or PowerPoint. You get the whole Microsoft Office suite for free by being part of K-12. So you don't have to pay for anything, but you do need to be able to access Word documents and PowerPoint documents, and you need to be able to submit Word documents and PowerPoint documents. My computer cannot read anything Mac related. So if you have a Mac computer and you submit something in, I think it's called Pages, or a Mac word processing document, I can't open it. And so my feedback to you will be, please submit this as a Word document. So it's really important right at the start of the year that you make sure that you have Microsoft Office, Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, Excel, and you get that for free. Your homeroom teacher can get you that link. If you don't have your Welcome to Homeroom email from right when you started, email your homeroom teacher and she can send you that link for directions on how to download that to your computer for free. Okay, so make sure you have that, and make sure you're submitting your documents as Microsoft Office documents. Okay, really, really important feature there. But if you have any questions about any of that, feel free to reach out to me. One final note, I think I already said that, but one final note that I want to say about discussions, and I'll remind you again, but we will have discussions in the class, and so they will normally pop up over here on the side and say, you have 4 new discussion post messages to read, and that's your peers responding to each other. And so when you do have a discussion post assignment, and we'll talk more about this, but you do have to respond to 2 of your peers for full credit, okay? But I'll show you all of those features when we get there, but it's something that students often forget, and they can lose 6 points out of 20 for that feature, and that's a lot. So wanted to throw that out there quickly. I know this is a lot of new information, especially if you're new here. It's a lot of information to take in. My best piece of advice is this weekend, especially if you're new, play around on the website. Practice checking your grades, practice clicking through the assignments, even maybe working ahead on Tuesday's assignment to see if you can access the features and if you can click through to different features. That's going to be really important so that you know how to upload a document, things like that. But if you have any questions, just reach out and I am more than happy to help you as you get started. I will tell you, my daughter started here, wow, now it's 2.5 years ago. And when she first started, it was really overwhelming because there's a lot of technology to learn while you're trying to teach yourself content sometimes. And so if you're feeling overwhelmed or if you need any help, please reach out. Okay, I've said that a lot, but I really mean it. Please reach out for help. Okay, a lot of information. Our first CC session together is going to be tomorrow. We will get a better chance to get to know one another, and so that will be on your schedule, so take a look for that. That will be really informal. There won't be any assignments afterwards. It's just going to be some basic course information. And then next Tuesday, we will have our first real content CC session, and hopefully I'll see you next Monday at our open house if you can make it. Okay, I would love to see you in person and get to know you and see your face. Okay, that's all I have for you today. Please click to the next section of the lesson so that you can read through the syllabus and take the syllabus quiz, and that is worth points. It's your first graded assignment, so make sure you try your best on that. All right, take care, everybody. Have a great day.